Hi everybody, we're the Babes of Bourbon. I'm Megan Rudder.
And I am Eric Rudder.
And today, we have a new product for you guys.
Woo!
Do you want to introduce it a little bit?
Yes, we are drinking Bardstown Bourbon Company. We're going to be drinking the Fusion series and the Discovery series. And then also when I bought this, it was really cool. If I bought this bottle, they gave a little sample box of the Distillate White Dog, which is the on-age whiskey. They give you the Maturate, which is the 3-year...
I think it's pronounced Maturate.
Maturate.
Which isn't anything against your pronunciation. I don't think I've ever said this word out loud myself.
Like there's no T at the end. Maturate. Oh, okay. I see. It's a 3-year bourbon. I mean, there's floaties in here and stuff, so I don't think they actually filtered anything.
It's unfiltered.
So
Gotcha.
It'll be interesting. And then there's the Fusion series number 3, which is, we'll go over that in a little bit, I think, but it is partially their product and partially sourced whiskey from Kentucky. And then lastly is the Discovery series number 3, which is a fully sourced bourbon, and we'll go in a little more detail on that in a little bit too.
Yeah. I had never heard of this distillery. I've actually never seen this bottle carried around in Wisconsin either. Eric picked it up in Illinois.
Yep. And another reason why I wanted to do this video today is exciting news. This does seem like it's going to be available in Wisconsin in 2021. I did a little
really cool.
research and
Look at
Yes.
you with the research.
yep,
I
it's
love
going to
it.
be here.
That's really exciting. We have cracked this open, the Fusion Series 3 bottle, and I really enjoyed it.
Yeah.
We're going to go through our rating system, go one at a time. We have actually got water this time to drink between
Stepping up our
guys.
game.
Yes. So let's start with the Distillate.
Yes.
Now, like Eric said, it is the White Dog. So basically, they distill the liquor that they then put into barrels. But this is before it's put into the barrel. That's why it's clear like a vodka or a gin.
Yes. And this is the
I'm really nervous about this.
60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley.
I like this box because it came with this really nice card that tells us. I'm kind of nervous about this.
Woo.
I don't love vodka and gin, and I've never tried the Distillate / White Dog before.
Well, good news is this smells nothing like vodka or gin, but
I can you just smell like straight
Yeah.
grain.
you smell like straight sugary corn grain.
I don't smell sugar. I just, ooh, this
This is going...
over the teeth and through the gums. Look out, stomach, here it comes.
I'm definitely glad for aging. The aging... It's not the worst thing in the world.
I've had worse shots before.
Yeah, but...
It's not a sipper, but that's not the point of getting this.
No. It's just so you can really see the aging process and exactly why sitting in the bourbon barrels for so long is important.
And honestly, this is way better than I thought it would be. Now, that's not to say this is delicious and I would ever want to drink this, because I don't. But it is you know how every time we sample a bourbon or a whiskey, we're like, oh yeah, you get that oak. It's so weird to have something that has just the straight grains and not the oak.
Yes.
So
And
I'm just going to leave that there.
other really interesting part is that the distillate is a very important part to the bourbon making process. It's going... So being able
It's
to
the
taste...
liquid.
Yes. Being able to taste this and have a vision of what it might be down the road is... You really admire the master distillers that are able to do that.
Oh, yeah.
Because I
Absolutely.
would never think this and
Can turn into
this would be the same.
And that's pretty cool too of this tasting box, that they really do start with the distillate like the 3-year, just really young, and then go up with their other products. So it really shows you how far they can take something. I want to give a little shout out to Bardstown Bourbon Company's website, guys. As always, I like to do a little research about the products. This is honestly like the best website for bourbon I have seen, and I've been looking up a lot of their websites. It is super fun to look through. They have a 360 virtual tour that also is like guided by the owners, where you can go through the entire distillery and see all the rooms, which during COVID, we can't go in person, so that's pretty cool. They're very upfront and honest about they want transparency between the consumer and the distillers. And they also have just a slew of people that have been in the bourbon industry for a long time. Their master distiller is in the Bourbon Hall of Fame. I do forget his name, so I apologize. But there are people that have worked for years at Maker's Mark, at the 1792, I forget the name.
1792? Yeah.
Yeah. There's
Barton.
There we go, Barton. I was like, it starts with a B. There was people from there. There was someone with the last name Willette, which who knows if he has anything to do with the bourbon, but I was like, that's a good name to have in Kentucky. Yeah. So yeah, just very cool, very navigable. One last shout out. What were you going to say, babe?
Oh, I'll do it after you. I want to show them something.
They had a super cool feature as well, where you can not only purchase, like if you're trying to buy something online, you can go to liquor stores that actually carry their products and see if it's available and order online. But they also have it where you can put in your location. So I put in Milwaukee with a 50-mile radius, and it brought up liquor stores that carry their product where you can get them. Which that I've never seen that before on a website. Awesome.
Yes. And a little bit about that up front. And honestly, any bottle you buy, I'm not sure if you'll be able to see it, but there'll be pictures on Instagram and stuff. They literally have their complete mash bill on this bottle and how long it's been aged for. So, like,
very transparent.
Yes. And we'll go over the mash bill in just a moment, but you know exactly what bourbon you're getting for your money. And like they say it right on the website too. They are so about transparency. They built their building with completely glass walls as well, so you can see the people working and distilling the products. Maybe you could tour that during COVID. You don't have to. No, you can do the 360. Everyone just walk around with binoculars and like circle the outside of the building and see people work. But yeah, so I mean, not only are they making a really solid product, as you'll see in our review in a little bit, I think they have a really solid company with an excellent marketing team. This is going on the list of distilleries we absolutely are going to visit someday. Yes, for sure. Now, shall we continue to the Maturate? Yes. Maturate? So, already, you can smell definitely a lot more notes that the 3 years of aging has given. Well, yeah. When you have the distillate to compare it to, you're like, man, solid bourbon here. Yes. And this one on our little card, the mash bill, is 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley. So it is the same mash bill as the distillate, so you can really see the difference. And on their website, too, they have 40 different mash bills that they use, which is a huge number in comparison to some other distilleries like Buffalo Trace. They use 3 for all their products. Oh, there's something. What is that? What is that? What do you get on the nose? I actually get a little mint. That's what it is. And it's not like peppermint. It's like when you have like fresh mint leaves. Yeah. Dare I say, even like a little bit earthy? Almost like you, I don't want to say I cut the grass, but almost. Kind of like that. Like, you know, when you're like going for the, my dad grows mint leaves outside because he likes it for his water during summer. Like when he goes out and like open the leaves up, that earthy scent that comes with the mint. Almost like, I don't know, I don't want to go that far, but almost like when the fresh thaw. Oh, the fresh thaw. Is that what you said? Yes. Where it's going into spring and the ground is thawing out for the first time. It smells earthy. Yeah, and minty. Yeah. Earthy and minty. And of course, like oak, because it was in an oak barrel. All right, now for the first sip. lots of oak and
a hint of mint at the end that I'm getting. Honestly, for a 3-year, very young product, surprisingly drinkable.
Yeah. And hopefully these floaties aren't going to kill us, but...
Truly an unfiltered product. What's that, cold filtration that maybe you could use? But
no, we don't need that here.
No.
Honestly, at 120 proof, I didn't expect this to be...
This is at 120 proof?
Yeah, I didn't expect this to be that drinkable.
I would really compare this to like a 6-year bourbon, and it's only 3. I'm quite impressed with this
There's
product.
a few rough edges, of course, because it's 3 years, but it's actually...
This is by no means perfect.
Yeah.
But like, this, I think, is probably one of the best young bourbons that I've had.
Yes.
I would honestly compare this to, like, if you guys have had New Riff single barrel. Not even just regular New Riff. I'd compare this to their single barrel.
That's saying something, because that's pretty good.
Because I like New Riff. Maybe it's just because we had the Distillate right before this, and I'm like, really giving a shout out to it.
But that's going to say something as Bardstown. If this little 3-year bourbon is this good, about how much potential they have as a distillery. And
yes, shockingly smooth too. Like, shocking on it. Okay, if I had a bottle of this, do you know how much a bottle of this would cost?
They don't sell it. They don't sell it 3
They
years.
don't even sell this. That makes sense because it's 3 years. But if I had this and I put it over ice, solid, I would drink it. I would not turn my nose up at it. Especially if it was cheap.
I think this is a solid $30 product right here.
Very comparable.
All right.
Cool.
Moving on.
And we're not going to score that one on our scale because they don't sell it, as Eric said. All right. Sip of water. Did you take yours?
I did. All right.
See, I don't know if you guys saw our blind taste test a few weeks ago. I feel like it was a month or 2 ago now. But we did not drink water in between. And I feel like I kind of messed up the flavor between a rye that I had and the E.H. Taylor. So we shall not make that mistake again. Water forever, folks. Hydration.
All right. So our next
Spilled on myself.
bourbon here is the Fusion Series number 3.
This gorgeous bottle. And we'll post on Instagram so you can see. But I really like the packaging of it. It's got like, what was even that? A geometrical design on the back of the bottle. It's very solid. I like the nice glass on the bottom of it. Very thick. Just pretty.
And the mash bill on this one, they put it right on the bottle. You know exactly what you're getting for your money. In this case, you're getting a 40% blend of a 13-year-old Kentucky bourbon. And it breaks down the mash bill for you at 74% corn, 18% rye, and 8% malted barley. And then 18% of their 3-year-old wheated bourbon, which is 68% corn, 20% wheat, and 12% malted barley. And then lastly, their 3-year, 42% of their 3-year, 60% corn, 36% rye, and 4% malted barley. I could have put that underneath for all of you so I didn't ramble on for a few minutes, but there it is.
We will post a picture of this on our Instagram.
Yes.
So that you guys, I'm a very visual person, so I'm enjoying this chart quite a bit. So, in summary, 40% of it is a 13-year random Kentucky bourbon that they source elsewhere. 18% is their own 3-year product, and 42% is also a 3-year product. The difference between their products is one has like the high corn and wheat, and one has the high corn and rye.
Yes.
So if you have heard of the elusive Pappy Van Winkle, as I'm sure most bourbon drinkers that are watching this channel have, that is one that has corn and wheat.
Yes.
That's that mash bills. It's got just think of it, a little bit of Pappy inspiration. Not even close, guys. What do you get? This nose, I think, is delicious.
Yes.
I get cherries.
I do too. I was just going to say that. I get fruit too. Maybe
A cherry vanilla.
yes.
It reminds me of cherry vanilla Coke, which I love. I have not had that in ages.
I do get a little apple too.
Do you?
Like a little.
Oh, this reminds me of something. Is it the cherry vanilla Coke? Maybe like a cherry vanilla Tootsie Roll. Have you ever had those like little fruity ones?
That makes sense.
Of course. A bourbon though. It has the oak.
Yes.
Smells like alcohol. If my dad was sniffing this, he'd be like, smells nothing like a Tootsie Roll.
And I maybe get a little orange in here too. After a few
Orange.
smells. I enjoy the smell.
Yeah. All right. Do you want to say what our nose is right off the bat?
Let's wait a little. Let's wait a little.
Keep a secret.
Yes.
I'm not going to complain. I'm going in for the first sip here.
Ooh.
Very pleasant. Yeah.
I get your typical caramel up front.
Yeah, me too. I get the regular caramel, a little bit of like crisp apple.
I was just going to say that. I don't know if I was putting it in my head because I was thinking caramel. I just said apple. Am I thinking caramel apple? But if you're getting the apple too.
You know what it too reminds me of? Now, I don't want to like make huge jumps and assumptions, but because this has, it's only 18%, but it has that corn, wheat, malted barley bourbon blended within it rather than more of a rye content, it kind of like has that little bit of like a taffy, fruity Tootsie Roll because that's what corn syrup is, and it's more corn and wheat. That's what I get personally. I think this is sweet, but not like overly sweet. It's not sickening, but it has that like really enticing sweet scent. It's got a very good taste.
Yep. The main thing I can say is you can't tell that this is really blended all. I don't taste like a young bourbon taste in this.
Oh,
I
no.
taste a nicely aged bourbon.
If you told me this was anywhere between 8 and 13 years, I would 100% believe you. Oh, price. What's the price of this bottle? MSRP.
$60.
60?
Yes.
Honestly, well worth the $60. This is what I expect out of a $60 bottle. I personally would pay anywhere between, we'll say 50, even though it's more than 50. I'd expect to pay between like 50 and $80 for this kind of bourbon.
I will, yeah. I think 60 is right where I would expect this to be. I'd probably pay 50 to 75 for something like this.
Yeah.
But
I hope it
similar
stays at
profile.
60.
Yeah.
I don't want to drive the price up because I know a review is going to drive the price up. But really, this is quite excellent. This may be one of my favorite bourbons that we've tasted this year.
This is definitely like my favorite $60 bottle true bourbon that I've tasted this year. Especially on the this is number one craft for sure.
Yeah. Craft bourbon, 100% number one, hands down. This is an excellent product.
This is awesome. Did you want to jump into? Do you have everything?
Oh, no.
Ooh.
Ooh, 1 second.
Did you get your finish?
I do have my finish. Do you have your finish?
I do.
Okay, now for the really hard part, which is math. All right, I got mine.
Ooh, why did I give 0.75s? This makes the math even harder.
Not mathematicians here, folks.
mistake.
But, you know, it's just good for the noggin.
Well, you can go over yours while I add everything up.
for myself on my little sticky note here. So for the nose, I gave it out of 2 points, full 2, for the reasons I stated. Love the nose on this one. I think it's unique and delicious. Taste, out of 3, I gave it a 2.5. Again, for the reasons I stated, I thought it was unique. I thought, like Eric said, you can't tell that there's any 3-year products in there, let alone making 60% of the product is a 3-year. The finish, out of 2, I give it a 1.5. It does have a little bit more of that oily mouthfeel that I appreciate. Has a little bit of a longer finish. And for availability and pricing, out of 3, I give it a 1.5. Because right now, living in Wisconsin, it's not readily available here. You'd have to make a special trip down to Illinois to go get it.
I'm just going to call you out here a little bit. Last week, when we did our little thing about smoke wagon, you said you're not going to knock it for...
But I'm not knocking it. I guess I did say that.
Maybe a little half point.
Just calling me out. How dare you? But no, because the difference is, though, it is in the Midwest. Where, like, I don't know. I don't have anything to...
I'm excited that it's going to be here next year.
Yeah, maybe that's what it is. Like, I know it's going to be in our liquor stores, so I'm like, oh, it's not that available. And the pricing being $60, I think it's a good price.
Yes.
But I wish it was 45 or 50.
Absolutely. Obviously, we're bargain hunters. We're always going to... But
it's worth the $60.
Yeah, definitely pay the $60.
What was your scoring, Dave?
For the nose, I give it a 1.75. I'm excited to see what this does in a couple years when they start replacing more and more of their whiskey, bourbon into this fusion series. Taste, I gave it a 2.5. Finish, 1.75. And lastly, price, I gave it a 2 out of 3. So a grand total of 7.25.
And mine was a grand total of 7.5 out of 10.
And every time I go back to this, I'm picking up a new note, which is why I'm giving it that high of a score for taste and the finish. I still get a little bit of that flavor in there. So I'm going to have to take a sip of water before we move
100%. I think this is definitely one of those bottles, too, that we want to leave open because I think that the flavor is going to change with time.
Yes.
Like many bottles. And I think it will be just as good.
I think so.
Different,
if not,
but just as good.
Better. But
dare he say better? It's already delicious. How much better? No, I'm just kidding.
All right.
Delish.
So I'm not going to go in quite as detail. There will be a picture on our Instagram. Our next one is the Discovery Series 3, which is a 45% Indiana 13-year-old bourbon, which is from MGP, just so you know, which is like the main Indiana distillery that sources to a ton of different. So you'll hear that a lot if you get more and more into bourbon.
You said
MGP.
MGP instead of MVP. You can just run around Indiana screaming that out the window. They'll think you're cool.
The next one is a 32% Kentucky 13-year-old bourbon, and lastly a 23% Kentucky 10-year-old bourbon.
And all 3 of these are the corn, rye, malted barley, mash bill, all different percentages, but that's what they're made of. So there's no of that corn, wheat, malted barley. This is all corn, rye, malted barley.
And this, will say price is $130 bottle.
This sample box is amazing. You said you got this free with this bottle.
It was 1 penny actually. It was 1 penny.
1 penny for all of these tastings. And you know what? I shall call out. You know what is super cool about the Fusion Series 3? Like, they give you the Distillate, they give you the Maturate, because this shows you, even though that there are 2 3-year products, like, within this, mixed with the 13, how good their 3-year products actually are that they're putting in. Like, this is not crap. This is very good for a 3-year.
Yeah. And it almost makes it easier to support them.
100%.
even though they're sourcing some of their whiskey right now, you're able to see, wow, they have a good product. I want to support them. And
while they build up their product.
Yep.
And they're not like, because some distilleries, some will go one way, some will go the other. Some will be like, oh no, we can only sell our product that we made from scratch. And some are like, I'm GP. Let's get something going here. And what I appreciate is that they are using a blend of both to make something delicious.
Yes.
And
they're 100% upfront and honest what they're doing.
Yeah. Transparency. Bardstown Bourbon Company.
Woo. Honestly, I didn't know much about them until like 2 weeks ago when I went on the trip and found them. I'm so happy.
Yeah. That they included with this bottle, like this tasting box for a penny extra.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, that is really awesome. I think they have a passion for what they do and they're trying to get their product out there and have people that enjoy bourbon enjoy what they do.
Absolutely. So this one, I'm getting mint right away. I don't know what you're getting, but...
Mint. Just like the tiniest hint of cherry vanilla again in this one.
And I'm getting a tiny bit of orange for myself.
I could see like the zest of an orange peel in there.
Yes, that's what I would say.
Yeah. But I would say, like you had said, mostly mint up front.
Honestly, these two actually smell somewhat similar.
They really do.
And that's probably because...
I'm wondering if they're using the same Kentucky 13 year.
I believe they are.
It's not spicy like other bourbons that have rye content. These have a lower rye content in my opinion because the highest of the three is a 21% rye.
Yes.
It doesn't have like that really like rye bread spices, like the baking spices, clove, cinnamon. I'm not getting that out of this. Which I kind of appreciate because I feel like we've been stuck in that lane for a while of like, this is what we've been tasting and it's been kind of similar. This is different.
Yes. All right.
Can you smell the age?
You can definitely smell when it's young. And you can smell that it's not old.
All right.
Enough of
the sniffing.
Let's get to sipping. Okay, there's the spice. Wow.
I need to take another sip right away. Wow. Cinnamon.
Yes.
Orange.
Yes.
Like, not just a little. A punch. Like a punch. Huge punch on the taste buds.
And the finish keeps going.
Yeah, it does.
A
cinnamony finish.
Yes, getting that cinnamon almost red hot finish.
I was literally... All right, so I was like listening to him and nodding, but in my head I was... Sorry, babe. In my head I was thinking about like the pack of Red Hots that my mom's put in the apple cider at Thanksgiving and Christmas. And like, I don't know if you guys have ever just sitting and like eaten the Red Hots when you're not supposed to, but that's exactly what this reminds me of.
And that red hot burn that is in the like very back of your throat right here, it's there. This
is super interesting. Very complex, really interesting. I haven't tasted anything like this before.
No, this is very good.
And it's so odd because when you take a sip, it's like really smooth on the front of my tongue and then hits the spice on the back. I wonder if that's because that's how the tongue has its little taste buds arranged, but I never did that project in high school science, so I couldn't tell you where my taste buds are.
I can't tell you either. I know, I think the bitter's on the side, but you don't get bitter in bourbon if it's done right. So
I studied French, guys. I was out of those classes and far away. I gotta get another sip. Man, I wish there was more of this. Like the sample they gave was generous. It was enough for both of us.
It was a 2-ounce pour, which was more than I thought
for
a little.
Penny?
Honestly,
$30.
When I bought this, I didn't even know what I was getting for a penny. I'm like, well, I'm going to grab it because it's a penny. I thought it was going to be like some sampling glasses to sample this in, and then I opened it up and like, oh, this is what they meant.
Yeah.
And
I have to say too, caramel as well, and oak along with the orange and cinnamon. I'm sorry, I cut you off. What were you saying?
Oh no, I forget.
No way you gonna do that. You were saying you didn't realize this is what you were getting with the box.
Yeah, I had no clue what I was getting. I was like, well, it's a penny. I'm going to.
He brought this home, and I was like, I don't care. I don't care if you, like, not like I don't care about it, but he was out in Illinois. He's like, can I spend this? Can I spend this? And I was like, sure. Have a blast.
I almost bought the $130 bottle, which I'm so happy I didn't and bought the $60 bottle because we got to sample all three. If I bought the $130, it was at a different store, so I wouldn't be able to experience all of them. I am unbelievably happy we did that because this really paints a picture of what Bardstown is trying to do.
If you guys come across a bottle, absolutely get one of either. I would say the two flavor profiles are very different. The nose is really similar. I'm actually happy that we got the $60 bottle instead of the $130 because this actually contains product that they distilled and made themselves. Both are really good though. Do I prefer the Fusion Series 3 because it's $60 versus $130, or do I actually truly prefer the taste of it?
I slightly prefer the Discovery Series.
Do you?
But
and I think I slightly prefer
$60, if I was just going out to the liquor store normally, I would be buying the $60 bottle much, much, much more often than the $130 bottle.
100%. This, like, the $130 bottle is for sure a treat. Worth it. I would say worth it once. I wouldn't buy it a ton because it's $130 and we're not, like, made of money, folks.
It's also one of the most unique bourbons I've had this year. I haven't had 100%. Anything like this.
Not even close to like this. Should we?
If you were to buy a $130 bottle, I would recommend it. If you like spicy things. Last week we did the Woodford Reserve, very fine, very rare. I butchered that, but you can watch that video from last week if you want to. This is...
Yes. That was a really fun video to make, just because Woodford's so special to us.
So I would say if you like sweet things, go on the lookout for the Woodford.
Very fine, rare bourbon.
If you like
something with a little bit
spicy
of spice.
Things, definitely this one. This is unique, delicious, highly recommended.
I would absolutely agree. I would highly recommend this distillery. I think they're going to blow up. Having tasted this, and the people that they have in their shop, if you visit their website, like we talked about earlier, they have like a list of exactly who is working for them, their title, and a description about their prior like working history and what they specialize in and what they're good at, which is really personal and pretty cool.
Yes.
They also have something where you can do like, oh shoot, what was it called? It was like custom distilling. Like, they teach you how to do it as well, and you can give input.
That's awesome.
And they have cocktail classes in non-COVID time. They have a bar. They have a restaurant.
I'm going to have to check out the site.
I feel like the whole, like, honestly, I want to go down there for a weekend when all of this is open and just, like, go on a Bardstown Bourbon Company date weekend. It would be great.
Yes, just spend... Screw the other distilleries. We won't go here.
Well, I feel like in the rest of our lives, we're going to spend a lot of time in Kentucky. I did look at their careers there. Really, because they have a link.
We're not leaving you work.
No. Anyone's watching this, I'm not going anywhere. But they were like, oh, you have to be optimistic and a hard worker and empathetic. And I was like, oh, I know all these things.
I mean, no if career you want to.
We have absolutely no talent or experience in this, but we're just ready. Master distillers, the Rudders. Make our own, like, marriage distillery. Aww. All right. Did you see this? in Illinois?
Yes.
The $130 bottle?
Yeah.
Was it just as available as this one?
It was at one liquor store, not the other.
Okay.
But what I've read, if you look, you can find it.
All right, I have my scores.
I am still going.
I'll go first then.
Okay.
All right, nose, I gave it a 1.5 out of 2. I personally prefer the other one a little bit better because I really liked what I experienced as the cherry vanilla. The taste, out of 3, I gave it a solid 2. I prefer sweeter to spicy, but I really thought like that was awesome as well.
Mm-hmm.
It's just not my personal like flavor profile preference, but very, very good. The finish, out of 2, I gave it a 1.25. It didn't last quite as long as the other, and of course, because it had that like cinnamon spicy. And I would say I'm a wuss, and I don't, I don't go too spicy on many things, but I really enjoyed that. And availability, out of 3, and pricing, I gave it a 1.25 because it is $130. So I wouldn't buy it often. It wouldn't be my go-to sipper, and the availability, I don't think at this point in time is there, but that could be too because it's a $130 bottle.
Mm-hmm.
In total, 6 out of 10 for me. That being said, if you see it and you have the money for it, I would buy it.
Especially if you like that spicy cinnamon flavor.
It
100%.
If you like the candy hot tamales, be there, buy this.
I gave it the nose. I thought both of these actually smelled very similar notes. I gave it the same score, 1.75. Taste, I love it. It's so unique, so delicious, 2.75. Finish, I gave it the full 2 points. It was amazing. Nice, like, red hottish finish.
It
that
is really
is
good.
really, again, I don't know if there's any other words. It's unique from anything else that I've tasted so far. And price, 1.5, because it is a $130 bottle. It's not going to be something you can buy every day. And it is, you probably do have to look a little bit to find it. So in total, if I did my math right, that is an 8 out of 10.
Which I would agree with that score. This is totally in Eric's flavor profile. This is a solid, delicious product. Can't say that enough.
I'm glad I like spicy and sweet. I get the best of both bourbon worlds.
You very much do. Yeah, so guys, try it. That's all I gotta say. Just get out there and try it.
I'm so excited they're coming to Wisconsin next year. That is amazing.
I am too. I hope selfishly it doesn't become one of those that you can like never find because everyone's just swiping it off the shelf. But I honestly would not be surprised if that started to happen.
No, the first year it definitely might be the case when it comes to Wisconsin first year. But just travel down to Illinois. They had a lot of bottles down there.
And honestly, with there being absolutely nothing to do right now, pretty much in the middle of winter in Wisconsin during the pandemic of 2020, driving down to Illinois is a good trip to do.
Yes.
Drink bourbon, drive to get it.
Yes.
That's the year.
Reverse order, maybe drive and get it, drink bourbon.
Drive it, and then I like that better.
Yes.
Terrible of me. But I really hope you guys enjoyed this. I enjoyed it very much. I'm actually excited now that we know about this distillery because I would really like to try more of their products.
Yes. They just released Fusion number 4 and Discovery number 4 late 2020. So
if we get our hands on it, that would be pretty sweet.
Hopefully. Soon.
Fingers crossed. Woo. So, as I have been saying at the end of all of our videos, if you enjoyed this, please like, subscribe, share. Look at us on Instagram. Tell your friends about it.
And if you made it this far, thank you very much because this was a little longer.
But it's like we're so passionate about the products. We should probably make short videos once in a while.
Maybe one day.
But why when we can just talk? But yeah, I hope you guys have an awesome day if you celebrate Christmas. Hope you had a Merry Christmas and a Happy New Year to everybody.
Yes, Happy New Year. I hope for all of us, 2021 is better than 2020.
And that we can get out there with some of you guys and drink some bourbon together.
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Bye.
Bye.